What if everything you thought you knew about the most famous prison escape in history was a lie? What if the official story, the one etched into popular culture, was just a carefully constructed narrative designed to bury a truth far more unsettling? Because in 1962, 3 men vanished from Alcatraz, and the FBI, for over 17 years, maintained they drowned. But what if they didn't? What if they walked away, not into the cold embrace of the Pacific, but into an elaborate, unthinkable freedom, aided by an unexpected ally? Because there's a photograph, a single, faded image from 1975 that could shatter the entire myth. A photograph that the authorities have, for decades, dismissed. But what if it's real? And if it is, it begs the most disturbing question of all. Who helped them? To understand this shadow of doubt, we need to first understand the fortress itself. Alcatraz, the rock, was designed to be inescapable. Perched on a desolate island in San Francisco Bay, its cold, imposing walls were home to America's most dangerous criminals: Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly, Mickey Cohen. The currents around the island were treacherous, the water frigid, and the guards relentlessly vigilant. This wasn't just a prison, it was a psychological weapon, built to grind hope into dust. And for nearly 3 decades, it succeeded. No one had ever successfully escaped Alcatraz. Many tried, all failed, or vanished into the bay, presumed drowned. This wasn't just a deterrent, it was a reputation, carefully cultivated, an unbreachable myth. But a quiet, highly intelligent man named Frank Morris, a natural leader with an IQ reputed to be in the genius range, alongside 2 brothers, John and Clarence Anglin, saw not an impenetrable fortress, but an intricate puzzle. These weren't men of grand designs or explosive theatrics. They were methodical, patient, and underestimated. Their plan, conceived over months, was audacious in its simplicity. They would slip through the very fabric of the prison itself. The tools, a collection of stolen spoons, a vacuum cleaner motor, sandpaper, even a single nail clipper. Over an agonizing period, they meticulously chipped away at the crumbling, salt-damaged concrete around the air vents in their cells. A tiny hole, started with a spoon, became a larger opening, hidden behind a false vent cover, meticulously crafted from cardboard and painted to match the prison wall. Imagine the nerve, the sheer, unimaginable patience, working under the constant threat of discovery, the distant clang of metal, the ever-present eyes of the guards. Then came the crucial, terrifying deception. To buy themselves precious hours, they constructed elaborate dummy heads from soap, toilet paper, and human hair salvaged from the barbershop. These grotesquely lifelike figures, placed on their beds under blankets, were designed to fool the guards during their routine night checks. On the night of June 11, 1962, the world outside was unaware that 3 men were about to attempt the impossible. They squeezed through their hand-carved holes, scaled drain pipes inside the utility corridor behind their cells, and then, using an improvised raft and life vests made from dozens of stolen raincoats, they slipped into the icy, churning waters of San Francisco Bay. The morning count revealed their absence. The dummy heads, still in their beds, were the last silent witnesses to their incredible escape. The alarm was sounded. The largest manhunt in the region's history launched. But the bay gave up no bodies, just a single paddle and a deflated life raft fragment. The FBI's conclusion was swift, definitive, and unwavering. They drowned. Case closed. Except it wasn't. Because the story, it seems, had a crucial missing chapter. And that missing chapter started to emerge decades later. The official narrative, so neat and tidy, began to fray at the edges. For 17 long years, the FBI maintained its stance. The men were lost to the sea. But in 1979, after years of relentless investigation, the United States Marshals Service took over the case, acknowledging that the FBI had been unable to definitively prove the men drowned. Then, a few years later, in 2013, a letter surfaced. Allegedly written by John Anglin in 2013, it claimed that all three men survived, barely, and that Morris died in 2008 and Clarence in 2011. The letter demanded medical attention in exchange for revealing his location. The FBI, predictably, dismissed it as a hoax, but the Anglin family never gave up hope. They presented compelling, unconfirmed evidence, including a photograph taken in Brazil in 1975, showing two men who bore an uncanny resemblance to John and Clarence Anglin. The photo, a grainy snapshot, was offered as proof that the brothers not only survived the escape, but thrived, living out their days in South America. What makes this photograph so chilling, so profoundly disturbing, is the possibility it presents that the FBI, for decades, either got it spectacularly wrong or worse, deliberately concealed the truth. Why would they do that? Why maintain the myth of inescapable Alcatraz if three men had walked free? The Anglin family's conviction was not based on wishful thinking alone. They recounted tales passed down through generations, whispers of postcards, of sightings, of a life lived far from the cold iron bars of Alcatraz. A cousin of the Anglin brothers, Ken Widner, revealed that yearly birthday cards, signed by John and Clarence, continued to arrive at the family home for years after the escape. He also spoke of receiving a call from someone who claimed to be John Anglin, telling him he was alive and well in Brazil. But the most astonishing revelation came when the family provided the FBI with that picture from 1975. The image, purportedly taken by family friend Fred Brizzi, a known drug smuggler with connections in South America, shows two men resembling the Anglin brothers standing by a fence. Brizzi, before his death, claimed he had met the brothers in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, in 1975. He said they looked good, spoke Portuguese, and confirmed they had indeed escaped Alcatraz. The FBI, however, stated that the photograph was inconclusive. They argued that it could have been anyone. They also cited an incident in 1973 where another family member claimed to have heard from the brothers but later recanted. But the Anglin family vehemently denies this recantation, maintaining that the FBI pressured their relative. If Brizzi's story is true and the photograph authentic, the implications are staggering. It means that these men didn't just escape Alcatraz, they vanished from the face of the earth, successfully evading capture for over a decade. It means the FBI's narrative, a story of inevitable demise, was a facade. Who helped them establish new lives? How did they manage to cross international borders without detection? The sheer scale of such a deception, or such a successful evasion, would require immense planning and possibly external assistance. Was there a network of sympathizers, perhaps other criminals, or even an individual with the means to spirit them away? The enduring mystery of the Alcatraz escape continues to captivate because it challenges our fundamental assumptions about authority, justice, and the limits of human ingenuity. Was it a testament to three men's unwavering will to be free, or a carefully orchestrated disappearance with hidden hands at play? The official narrative remains, but the shadows of doubt persist, fueled by faded photographs and whispered family secrets. To this day, the U.S. Marshals Service maintains an active warrant for Frank Morris, John Anglin, and Clarence Anglin, stating that they are still wanted. They believe there's a good chance they could still be alive in their late 80s or early 90s, somewhere in the world, living under assumed identities. We may never definitively know the truth of what happened that cold June night, but what if the greatest prison break in history wasn't just a daring escape, but a testament to a truth the authorities desperately tried to bury? A truth that suggests some mysteries, even after decades, refuse to stay buried. If you want more stories that challenge the official narrative, the next video explores the inexplicable disappearance of Amelia Earhart and the chilling questions that still surround it.